Welcome to another free on-page SEO course. My name is Josh Bashinsky, and I will be providing you guys an on-page course today as I try to get this eyelash out of my eye. Something's in my eye, it's bugging me, it's making me crazy. If you're watching live, by all means, ask any questions on the right-hand side. Make sure to like and subscribe and click all the bells and smack the monkey and punch the goat, whatever you need to do down there to get notified when we go live and when we have another course going on. And if you want to join these courses, you can definitely go to SEOcopilotai.com and click on resources, and then there's the free on-page course there. You can be part of the Zoom call and ask me private questions as well. I'm happy to go into a bit more detail on your on-page and how to do it and what kind of things you need to do. Okay, so let's get right started to it here. Well, good. We are broadcasting. Fantastic. Okay, so Dave, you can see my screen now. Yeah. Oh, there's more people filtering in. Okay. Let's see here. Dave said something. He said yes, he can. Good. Okay. Fantastic. Thanks, Dave. All right. So I welcome folks who just jumped in the Zoom here. If there's a particular area you want me to focus on of SEO Copilot, let me know. Let me just paste this into the chat again for everybody who came in. There we go. Okay, so this is the AI tool that we'll be using today to show you the on-page. It's called SEO Copilot. You can find it here at SEOcopilotai.com. If only I could type correctly. And again, under resources here is where you find the free on-page courses. So we have over 1,000 users. We get huge ranking boosts. We reduce on-page time and cost by 99%. You could try for free here. No credit card needed for 14 days. That's the end of the sales pitch. Anyway, so this is how we do the on-page with AI. You might be like, why not use ChatGPT? The answer is because ChatGPT is crap. If you just ask it to write a quote-unquote SEO article, it's going to be terrible. If that's all we needed to do, I wouldn't have needed to invest thousands of hours and hundreds of thousands of dollars into writing this piece of software. I would have just kept running SEO University, which I do, which is the mastermind group that produces all this information, and just told my students, use ChatGPT. It's perfect out of the box. Sadly, it is not. It won't do the keyword discovery for you and find the low-hanging fruit where your competitors are weak and the traffic is high and they have the credit cards in hand and they're ready to make purchases. It will not do the analysis of building advanced AI models because the thing is that people don't understand every AI is different. An entity in one AI system is not the same entity in another AI system. Transformers, natural language processors, vector embeddings, all of them, neural networks, they all work differently, in some case, completely differently. And so if you think that the NLP demo from Google is going to get you keywords that's going to rank you, I'm sorry to say we've tested that in SEO University and it's not the case. It does not correlate with rankings or cause rankings in any way, shape, or form. If you're getting any good rankings by using a tool that uses the NLP demo from Google, that is just an accident, quite frankly. So we rebuild the actual models that Google uses, BERT, RankBrain, TDO, BERT, vector embedded AI models, the helpful AI model, the review AI model, at least 10 different models we use, the spam brain models. We rebuild all these models for you and give you all that analysis and find the boosted keywords. You can check the keyword reports if you want to, but there's no need. You don't need to. Now more people are filtering in. There's no need to check the reports. I mean, advanced SEOs would check the reports to see kind of what's going on and how the AI has analyzed the query space and what the query interpretation is. It's another huge thing that Google does that they've produced white papers on and is in the leaked API documents. They do query interpretation. Our tool does the query interpretation for you. I'm going to show you that. The AI, there's at least 20 hours of work here, if not more. The AI does all that analysis for you and does it in like 20 minutes. And then finally, step 3, the AI can finally do what people think using AI for SEO is. Our AI makes high quality, human level, eat content that is factual, which is unlike ChatGPT or any other AI. It won't be factual. They'll hallucinate, and it'll be based on stuff that happened whatever, in 2022 sometime or 2023. And it saves you a huge amount on costs and time. It was taking us in SE University, my mastermind group, where the science comes to back this piece of software. It was taking us 20 to 30 hours to do a single page. We just said that's just not tenable. That's just not possible. That's not profitable. There's no way you can get ahead doing SEO by doing 30 hours of research for a single page. It just won't work. And so you'll never catch up to the people who've been building signals for the last 25 years in the lucrative niches. It's just not going to work. So that's the reason why we built this software, and it does a very good job. It boosts people like crazy. We have example upon example upon example here of how our tool boosts people. This goes on for a very, very long time of being spot 100 nowhere and then getting spot number 2 on how to clean a solar fountain. Being spot 100, that means nowhere, being off the SERP, and within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, now they're spot number 4 for push digital marketing, et cetera, et cetera. This goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. There's hundreds of these examples, thousands overall over the years of our group having success and the software having success. This is specifically from this software having success, but it's based on all the same tactics. That's what you can expect to get when you use a proper AI tool. So let's get into the tool and let's find out how it works. Let's find out how you could do on page with it. If everyone's good to go or pumped, give me a good to go or pumped in the chat. And again, if you have any questions, either watching live on YouTube or in the Zoom, by all means, throw your questions in there. Godfried asks, how much does SEO University cost to join? And is it a one-time payment or recurring? SEO University is 50% off for people who are paying SEO Copilot customers. It's well worth the money. You'll make your money back. It is absolutely the best mastermind group that exists for SEO. People have created SEO careers. They started as junior SEOs. They moved to senior SEO. They moved to marketing manager, and some have even moved to CEO. So email me and we can discuss the pricing and whether or not there's a one-time payment or recurring. I might be thinking of doing a special offer coming up. So keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you sign up for SEO Copilot to get on the mailing list. Just put your email in at seocopilotai.com. Try the tool out while you're at it, and you'll get on the mailing list that way. And keep your eyes peeled for special offers coming up, both on SEO Copilot. We have a crazy offer coming up for that, and for SEO University to get new business, to get new people into SEO Copilot and new business in SEO University. We have some interesting deals that'll be coming up for that.
Right.
Okay. Here, let me just 1 second. I hear somebody. Where is the mute? Mute everyone. Dave, I'm just going to mute you. If you want to ask a question, by all means, go ahead. Victor, I'm just going to mute you. If you want to ask a question, go ahead. Let me just go here to this. Mute all. There we go. So I muted you guys. If you want to ask questions, but by all means, go ahead and do that. Okay. So this software is broken down in 3 main categories, as I said. And nobody has said they want to focus on a specific area, so I'll just kind of give you a general overview. There's the keyword discovery, which is where you should start. This is where the vast majority of SEO campaigns go wrong. Guys, I've been doing SEO longer than Google's been around, since the late 90s. And I see this mistake again and again and again. So please learn from my own personal mistakes and learn from the mistakes I've seen. The biggest mistake in SEO, where most of the SEO campaigns will go right or go wrong all of a sudden. Sorry, 1 second, I just have to cough. The biggest place where SEO campaigns will go right or wrong, 75% of the time, is in failing to do proper keyword research to the beginning, to find the ranking opportunities. You need to find the ranking opportunities. That's where you need to start. So other people call this the low-hanging fruit, but the low-hanging fruit presumes that it'll be a long tail keyword. It'll be like 4 or 5 words long, and presumes it will have low traffic, and presumes that it won't make any money. Yes, you need to find the easiest niches, but you need to find the easiest niches that also have high traffic and also will make you as much money as possible. That's the ratio. It's easiness of ranking, or that is to say, weak competition plus traffic plus money. Because you don't want to rank for a keyword, even if it has 1,000 visitors, but they don't spend any money, then why are you ranking for them in the first place, is the question. Sometimes you want to do that. I'm going to get into that, why you might want to rank for high traffic that makes no money. That makes your client no money, makes you as a business owner no money. But generally speaking, when it comes to the sales funnel, you want to be at the laser edge of the sales funnel. When it comes to the sales funnel, you want to be at the end of it here. Let me just where's a good, we'll go to Google here. Go to Google, google.com. You want to be at the end of the sales funnel here. You guys have seen this triangle, the sales search funnel. This is informational queries. This is informational transactional queries. This is transactional queries. You want to be as close here to them having done their research on somebody else's site that informed the world for free and made absolutely no money off that conversion. If you can avoid it, you don't want to be up here because that's where nobody makes any money. Generally speaking, statistically speaking, you need to be here at the transactional end of the sales search funnel where the client, okay, I've learned about, what are red apples? What are the top 10 best red apples? Josh's red apples, or I want to buy red apples. This is here where those kinds of queries that you want to rank for, generally speaking. Now, so how will you do this? Well, it's impossible to do it with your eyes. It's impossible to go through the tens and thousands of keywords that are possibly available, and it's impossible for a human to find the perfect synergy of weak competition plus high traffic plus making money. You might be able to find weak competition with your own eyes, spending 5 hours a day, which is way too long. You're never going to get ahead that way. It's taking way too long. And you might be able to find high traffic by going into Keyword Ads Planner, but you have no idea if it's easy to rank for or not. And you might literally ruin your business by trying to rank for keywords that you will never be tried for. Google is using here's another secret that people don't realize. It's not equal. It's not fair. I'm sorry, it's not. It's just not fair. The internet's not fair. Google's not fair. They make very terrible decisions, right? It's like a job interview, a very picky job interview. Well, if you don't go to that job interview with your resume perfect and your tie perfect and your suit perfect, you're not getting that job and they will not interview you again. That's how Google works. Have you ever seen this in your search console? They rank you on page 2 or 3 for a query you tried to rank for. You jump around a bit, maybe even on page 1 a little bit, then you get punted off and you never rank for it again. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Your site, if that's happening to you, your site does not have the trust. That's the T in the EAT acronym. You do not have the trust. You do not have the authority, right? Which has a little bit to do with linking, but actually is mostly an on-page factor, quite frankly, which I'm going to show you how to get today. So there's a number of reasons why you need to start with the keyword discovery first. Guys, if you take anything away from this free on-page SEO course, the most important part of on-page starts before on-page even starts. It is in choosing the searches that you should be trying to rank for to begin with. Searches that are easy enough that the health and the strength of the current site you're working on, whether it's brand new or been around for 10 years, is the level of queries you can try to rank for. If you have a more powerful site, you could try to rank for more difficult queries. But generally speaking, you need to build fast, you need to build efficiently, you need to build many, many pages, you need to have a big site because bigger sites rank better. That's not a secret. That's also scientifically confirmed. I'll tell you that little free piece of information from SEO University. Bigger sites rank better. Now, the site weight is relative to your competitors, of course. So in local, if all your competitors just have 5 or 10 pages, okay, right now, then all you need right now is 5 or 10 pages. But the logic of capitalism and the logic of competition means that if they want to get ahead of you, and they do, they will continue to add signals. Everybody continues to add signals as time progresses. As time progresses to infinity, signals progress to infinity. That always creeps. There's always signal creep. Your competitors are always building more or they go out of business, right? And there will always be new competitors because everyone needs to make money, especially in this price gouging economy we're in. Everyone needs to make more money, more than they ever needed to make before. So again, you need to build efficiently, fast. You need to get the trust. You need to have a bigger site than they have. You need to be so far ahead of them, there's no way they can catch up. And if you're in anything but a local niche, and even in many local niches who've been doing SEO for 20 or 25 years, you need to catch up. They've already been doing this. The starter pistol for this race started 20 years ago, and they've already been building up signals. Now, luckily for you, our AI is very powerful, and it can help you build up there, and you can win in those niches. I showed you some of the niches of direct proof, actual ranking proof of some of the niches we're ranking for. It's at bit.ly/SEO proof for anyone who wants to go check it out. bit.ly/SEO proof, bit.ly/SEO PROOF. You could see how SEO University and SEO Copilot can actually get you to rank within a few months of actual queries that make a lot of money that have been around for a very, very long time. But you need to do the keyword discovery first. You need to find the searches that are the perfect synergy of easy to rank for, weak/weak competition. That's what makes it easy to rank for, is that the competition is weak. And sometimes another thing that happens is Google punts out all the strong competition because they went too strong. They did too much black hat SEO. Google found them, has punted them out of the SERPs, and now they buy AdWords or they buy traffic or they're out of business, right? So there are holes. There are more opportunities than you would expect, but it's more difficult than you would expect too. There's more opportunities than you would expect if you use our AI to find them. It's very efficient in finding them. Only AI could do this, quite frankly. Find the synergy between those three things and do it fast. Do it in a time frame that makes it economically feasible for your business. There's more opportunities than you would imagine, but it's also harder than you would expect as well. And so there's good news though. Our AI can find the opportunities for you, and our process, which I'm going to teach you today, is a proven process. So let me get down to the pro. So I hope, does that make sense to everybody? I always have to give this rant, this invective at the beginning of the course, because I need to impress upon you how important it is. You need to start here and find the ranking opportunities. And our system is very easy to use. It's very intuitive. I'm going to show you in a second. So there's no reason why you shouldn't start here, because this literally, in the vast majority of SEO projects, this literally will be the difference. In 7 out of 10 SEO projects, this will be the difference between success or failure. Please, 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 if you get nothing else from this course, listen to me on this one. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about that? Any questions? Are you guys pumped to find the ranking opportunities that's going to make you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars? Let me know in the chat. Let me quickly see here. Okay, there's supposed to be a chat here though somewhere. How do I see the chat? Where is the chat? Oh, I think there's a chat. There's supposed to be a chat. Let's go. Is this the chat? Yes, this is the chat. There we go. Okay, if you guys have a chat, let me know. If there's something you want to ask here, by all means, go ahead and ask me. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. So keyword discovery. This is where you need to start. And it's very simple. You start from the very, very broad. You start with seed keywords. You start from the very, very broad. You start with the general ideas at the top. Like, for example, I put in the word best and I got 14,000 ideas. I put in the word best products and I got 20,000 ideas. Then I got more specific. I put in health supplements. I got 4,000 ideas. I put in payday loans. I got 5,000 ideas. And unsurprisingly, this is where a lot of the money is, right? Look at some of the money you can get here. 43,000, 31,000 a month. That's the average amount you could be making for ranking for, 80 or so of these queries. That's what you will make working for 80, ranking on average, ranking for 80 so of these 80. That's 8 times 10 pages on your site, queries, searches you're trying to rank for, 1 page per search that you could make if you were spot number 1. That's the kind of money you're looking at. Okay, no problem, Dave. So, Yes. So, and you'll see what the system will do here. You would start from, I'd even put in shopping, for example, and give general ideas. And then you can drill down from there. Now it depends. You might be like, okay, Josh, SEO Copilot will do SEO for any and every kind of SEO. It does local SEO to, does local SEO. As you can see here, we have a bunch of local queries that are in here as well. You can do local. It'll do local SEO to global SEO. It will do big SEO to small SEO. It will do client SEO. It will do affiliate SEO. It will do in-house SEO. It will do consulting SEO. It will do rank and rent SEO. What is rank and rent? Rank and rent is when you try to rank for a keyword, like something in the gambling and online casino niche, or something in the health supplements niche, for example. You try to rank for these keywords in here, and when you're ranking, then you take those, or you can rank for local stuff too. And when you have that, you start ranking for, I don't know, whatever it is, landscaping in Toronto. And then when you have that, or lawn care services, you contact a local landscaper and you say, hey, I've got free leads. Do you want them? I have no way of monetizing these leads. I'll give them to you. If they work out, then we can talk about you renting my page here that is ranking on page 1, spot number 1 for lawn care Toronto. And they would say, yes, of course I want the free leads, thank you. And then you get a free rental of, not free, then you get rental of that page going on over time. You get recurring revenue. So rank and rent's a great idea. It's been around forever. I don't know why more people don't do it. You can do it on the side. AI is now fast and powerful enough. You can build websites on the side. It doesn't take that long. And you can have a way to diversify your income, which is a really good thing to do, again, in this price gouging economy. Or you can do digital real estate as well. All these are plug and play. All these are mix and match, right? You could try rank and rent. You could try affiliate. You don't like that, doesn't work, whatever. Then you sell the website. You go to Flippa and you say, look at this site here can make on average, that's ranking for 80 queries and health supplements. This can make 40 grand a month. You do their standard calculation of how much this site should be worth. You maybe half it to make sure you make the sale. You can make good money on selling sites that rank for lucrative queries. So that's the general overview of the logic behind this, why you would use it. Now let's get into more specific products. Let's say, for example, you're like, okay, Josh, that's great, but what if I have a customer or a client or a boss, or I've just decided before I did this research, and if that's the case, if you're just trying to do an SEO play and any niche will do, go in and do this research again and find one that's more lucrative. Try something like crypto, for example. That is a great one that makes an F ton of money. Or try herbal supplements, or try all these different ones that make an F ton of money. Go, if you've joined SEO University, you have an account to this tool here that we use, Exploding Topics, which you could check the trends database, check, I don't know, business, for example, try to rank for a lot of these AI different things. A lot of these will have affiliate products, for example. Go into the trends database, go into retail, try a bunch of these ones. These are all hugely exploding topics. There's niches for days. I used to have the show Niches Get Riches. Well, if you want to say niches or niches, I'm not sure. Niches get riches. There's traffic for days. If it's just an SEO play you're doing, you can put these in here and find the ones that make money that are also, they're not that hard to rank for example. Like these ones here are very easy, but look at these ones here that actually make some money. This one is only 17% tougher than the rest of the internet. But if you're ranking for just 80 pages at spot 1, to which you should have an 800 page site. If you're just ranking 10% of them on spot number 1, that's fine. The rest of the site's essentially a topical cluster that's building up your 80 spot 1 rankings. You can expect to make this approximately. That's what you should be expecting to make. You can actually make business plans based on this. It's not a promise. It is a revenue ballpark, but it is an apples to apples comparison. This niche is far more lucrative than this niche. And if it's just an SEO play you're doing, well, then you should redo this research and find the most lucrative niche. Does that make sense to everybody? If it's just an SEO play. If it is my client came to me, and I don't have a choice, Josh. I have to try to rank them for protein powder because that's what they do. They're a protein powder business. Or my boss came to me, Josh, and that's where I got my in-house SEO job. We do protein powder. He doesn't want to rank for gambling and online casinos. And I would say, well, maybe you have some spare time. Maybe you should diversify. And maybe actually you should do it yourself and make that money on the side. I didn't say that. Didn't come from me. I don't know who said that. Where'd that whispering voice come from? I don't know where that came from. But, hypothetically, I knew a guy, wasn't totally not me, but I knew a guy who was an in-house SEO for very big companies. And he was so bored with his time because he was, I don't know, the company was huge and had a million links. So there was very little SEO work for me to do. I mean, this guy I know, not me, this guy I know, that he started doing SEO on the side and both was being paid whatever, $50 an hour to do in-house SEO by his company, and was also making $50 to $100 an hour doing client work for the same 8-hour day. Just saying, don't do it if it'll get you fired. Don't do it if they have a keyboard monitor on you. I don't know. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But I'm just saying, but you could be like to your boss, listen, I'm going to try to rank for some of these affiliate niches. The money will be ours in the company. And also it's going to get me more, practice on how to do SEO. I'll get better at doing SEO. Just saying that might be a good idea. Just saying. But anyway, let's say, let's say again, do not forget to do all this research to find the best niches. And let's say they're a protein powder niche. So you're like, okay, well, I need to rank for protein powder. Well, then you should be putting protein in here. You should be going protein. That's what you should be putting in here. Did I already do that? Protein. I might have already done just protein. Protein. No, I don't see it. Maybe it's in here somewhere. Protein. No, okay. That's fine. So, but I would definitely be putting in protein in there just to see if it's listed, quite frankly. But if you're like, Josh, we have to go for protein powder. Okay, fine. So let's say this is the keyword that you have to go for, the general overarching idea you need to go for. And then what it's going to do is going to find you a whole bunch of keywords which are related to this. And so this is where you drill down into the nitty gritty, where you actually find the page topics you're going to be writing about. Generally speaking, actually, Google does a query interpretation on this. So you're going to be surprised. Your link building specialist page is actually going to turn into what is a link building specialist, for example, or your photo booth rentals page. A photo booth rental page is actually going to turn into top 10 photo booth rentals page. You're going to be surprised at the query interpretation, the query rewriting that Google does with their artificial intelligence that our AI will tell you. It analyzes hundreds of pages and will tell you what the out of the entire shard collection that is brought back, which is the official way Google refers to their pages that come back. Out of their sort one, the first sort, they have two sorts. They have sort one with the Mustang server. Apparently that's what we're getting from the API leaks that does the original scoring of the shard collection. And then you're going to get Twiddler, which I think is their sort two snippet brain, another thing they call to make the actual snippets and rearrange the results slightly. Okay, so here's I knew it popped up. There's somebody who was waiting in the room. So here is where you would drill down, and this is the most important thing here, the final ROI. If you have a strong site, and you're like, Josh, okay, so then there's two things, there's two different there's a fork in the road here. There's two different paths you will take. The first path is, let's say you have a strong site. You're like, Josh, these clients I just picked up, they've been running a protein site for 15 years. They're already ranking #1. They have thousands of pages. Whenever we index a page, it starts ranking somewhere in Google, maybe not page 1, but somewhere in Google within 24 hours. If that's the case, you have a pretty healthy site. You could also click using a powerful site here, probably to make the difficulties a little bit more accurate as to how difficult it'll be for you. Or if you have a top level expert in this niche, in terms of your brand name, like you can't go to a forum, or you can't go to social media, or you can't go into a Google search and not see these guys somewhere, then they probably have this and this, and it'll make it easier. You could click those things, but whether you click them or not, when you're drilling down here for your business, Better Protein Powder, that's their product or whatever, or that's the thing they want to rank for, that's their branding. what you're going to do is you need to sort by final ROI. Because what final ROI will do is it will take the keyword ROI, it'll take the raw return on investment for that keyword, aka how much money you will make for how much time and effort and money you are spending. It has the best ratio, the best keyword ROI, and it'll multiply it times the ease, and the easiest and the most lucrative will go on top for the final ROI. And by this bar, you can see the relative value, the relative final ROI between the different keywords. For example, this one, which is very easy to rank for, this is a gem keyword. This is 25% easier, if I round up, 25% easier than the rest of the internet to rank for. And however, it also has on average 12 grand a month that it makes. And that is because it has very high Google Ads competition. So we use a very scientific ratio. Google has already published from their own economist. Google literally has an economist under their employ. And they published a scientific study, which I checked. It's valid. It's scientifically valid. I checked it out. And they say, on average, people make a 1-to-2 ratio of profit to spend. So that means if they bid 90 cents in Google Ads, they're making $1.80. They make 90 cents profit. That's what that means. So we take a ratio a little higher than that. Instead of a 1-to-2 ratio for high competition, we take a 1-to-4 ratio. We take 30% of this traffic. We assume a 5% base conversion rate, and we up it by 16%. So that's 5.32 conversion rate on the 30% of traffic you get for ranking number 1. And we take that times 4 of this, multiply that out, and that's how you get the revenue ballpark of 12 grand. This could be off by 3 or 4 grand, but it's not going to be off by 10 grand. It's only going to be off by 30% in total. However, the keyword difficulty here, this is a very, very accurate number. We have over 1.5 to 1.6 million records in the database that have already been analyzed. This is the most keyword discovery. We have over 1,000 users who use keyword discovery, most of them very religiously. They've done a lot of keyword difficulty reports. And every time they do a report, every time you do a report, the reports get a little bit more accurate for everybody. And as you can imagine, in my master's degree and in my PhD, in my graduate work, I was doing an interdisciplinary graduate work. I finished my master's and I was doing a year of the PhD when I quit. I was doing it because it sucked. I want to come back to marketing and SEO because I could literally make 10 times the amount of money I could as a professor, literally. It wasn't the job I thought it would be. It was more like teaching high school, which I didn't want to do. If I wanted to teach high school, I could have just done a Bachelor of Education in 4 years. I would have been teaching high school like that. I wouldn't have needed to teach, do all the extra schooling. Anyway, but in that graduate work, I discovered, okay, Victor, I'll answer that question in a second. In that graduate work, which was interdisciplinary, it was half philosophy, half science. It was half ethics and rational decision theory, but also neuroscience and psychology on the science side. I read a lot of scientific studies of actual medical journals and scientific journal, the actual white papers that scientists put out after they do an experiment. And I learned the ratio because in the social sciences and psychology, it's mostly statistical data correlative analyses is what they're doing. And they survey like 100,000 people and they say 98% felt sad when, that's that kind of thing. There is a standard scientifically proven mathematical ratio as to when your statistical data correlative analysis becomes valid. It becomes mathematically valid and scientifically valid. And there's a standard formula for that. And so I cracked out the old standard formula and I had, I did the math, and you'll be happy to know on these scores here of these exact numbers here, this minus 24%, this percentage here is well, like times 1,000 beyond the threshold of what we would need to be a trustworthy, scientifically valid statistical scientific test. So although the keyword revenue ballpark is not a promise, this is going to be off by 3,000 or 4,000, I will fully admit. But it's not going to be off by 10,000. It's going to be pretty close because Google did this Google did do this survey here, and I looked the science at that, and it looked valid to me. But this difficulty here is you can take it to the bank. It will be like 1% off at maximum, and that is the most it will be off, period. So when this says this is 24% easier to rank for than any other SEO niche out there, you can take that to the bank. You can take that to the bank. You can trust this. And when you look at the actual difficulty here, when you drill down for the actual report, and you just click the bar here to get it, when you drill down for the actual report, you can see why. No SEO imagined anyone would be searching for this, and they all failed to do keyword research. They all failed to use keyword discovery, and they used Ahrefs instead, which was a mistake for their difficulty. And they have not optimized for this keyword. This is a great example of why I tell people you need to do this research, because you're going to find gem keywords like this that are the easiest to rank for. This is 25% easier to rank for than the rest of the internet, and it'll make you at least 10 grand a month, more or less, when you rank number one for it. That's insane. You could base a whole business on this keyword alone. This is the golden keywords that my AI finds for you that you need to find to be successful in 2024 and beyond. Okay, so Victor asks, sorry, 1 second, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, I must be, allergies are fighting something off here. Victor asks, why is the New York NYMag.com, this one here, highlighted in green in the detailed section that you're showing now? Great question, Victor. The reason is because it's the easiest. My Terminator AI, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, has found the easiest one. This is the weakest one. This is the one that has the weakest SEO signals, generally speaking. Now, my AI didn't notice NYMag being a brand, so that's a bit of a mistake there. But it usually is pretty good at picking off the ones that are the weakest. There's a lot of other weak ones here too, like this one here. This purchased Forbes.com article. Anyone could have written this. You can write this yourself. This is probably purchased by them, or it might be them trying to rank for it. But Forbes is not, they have a little bit of power, but you can buy articles on Forbes, no problem. You could replace this if you had better on-page. The site's not focused towards this at all. The page is not focused towards this. They do not have the exact match query in any of the spots they're supposed to have it. Look how weak the page focus is, 43%, 48%. That's the highest one. This guy is only 30%, and it's Amazon. So again, this guy's only here because they're Amazon. You could punt them off. Bon Appetit, you could punt off. Very well health, you could punt off. Eating well, you might be able to punt off. There's other ones here you could possibly punt off. USA Today, you could punt off. So this is showing you the low-hanging fruit in, like we've drilled down 3 times now. We've from our spy satellite at way above orbit, we've drilled down 3 times now, and we know where the low-hanging fruit is of what it is you need to do to get the to find the best ranking opportunities here. Now here's a couple other pro tips. You notice how these are all pages, and if you had a site focused to Better Protein Powder, like if you registered betterprotein.com or betterpowder.com, Victor asks, is it showing that Amazon listing is the most difficult to dislodge? Yes, from a perspective of apples to apples SEO comparison, but that's not how Google works. It's not an apples to apples comparison. Google is biased. If you're a big brand, they'll put you there just because they think they should be putting big brands there, not because it has any good SEO signals. So my AI is like, yes, because they're a big brand, they're difficult to get rid of here. But Google might be like, oh, Amazon, no one, if quite frankly, if people are not purchasing on Amazon, and the fact that they're at spot number 9 tells me that this is just like a throw in at the last second, Twiddler decided to throw this in, that tells me that they're only ranking here, and these stats here are so low, they're only ranking here because they're a big brand, quite frankly. And if you had something that was more relevant, that was higher quality, that was more trustworthy, they very well could try you here and punt Amazon out. Does that make sense, Victor? All right, you guys, if you have any questions, by all means ask. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions, both on the live YouTube and in the Zoom here as well. Victor says, yes, absolutely. Great. Okay. So if I were going for this niche, this is a gem keyword. I would definitely go for it. It's easier and makes a ton of money. That's exactly what you want, right? I would go for this keyword for sure. I would definitely go for this keyword if I had a strong site. I would just start with final ROI. I would go down the list. And even if it said not recommended, that just means it's not recommended for new SEOs and or new sites. That's what that means. I might change this verbiage to say expert SEOs only, or high quality sites only, or something like that, or aged sites only. That would give you a better idea of the kind of signals you might need, or the kind of site you might need, or the kind of expertise you might need before you even should take on a keyword like this. Because again, Google's not created equal. Whoever they're ranking here is going to have big, huge opportunities, like Premier Protein. This is a bad example because this is actually a brand name called Premier Protein. But that's why my AI said don't do it, because it's very tough, right? It's all relative at the end of the day. You could try ranking for this. It's not earmarked for Premier Protein. And if Premier Protein starts to suck and your site starts to be better, they will start floating you here in the results, like they've floated other sites in the results here. You notice they put big brands in, but they've decided, you see Victor? This is exactly what they did here. This is clearly for Premier Protein because that's a brand name, and they're pretty smart, and they must be pretty good to have been able to take over a general normal sentence, Premier Protein Supplement, and brand it to their own. They must be getting a lot of really good signals here of a very specific kind. If you're in SEO University, ask in the Discord, and I'll tell you exactly what signal is making them rank here, and therefore what signal you need to dislodge them, and they can be dislodged. But notice how they decide to just throw in Amazon and throw in Walmart just because they didn't want to have the whole SERP to be Premier Protein. That's the query deserves diversity. That's the QDD algo that I was exactly just talking about. And these are the spots, Amazon and Walmart, that you could possibly kick off if you had more relevancy and quality, which in Google's eyes means the exact same thing. If you had a better, more palatable site, if your structure was better, if your tech was better, if your infrastructure was better, and again, join SEO University. I will tell you exactly how to do these things, exactly what all that means, and exactly how you could conceivably go for this query if you wanted to, but it shouldn't be your first choice, because again, it is really difficult to get. Which leads me on to, let me just finish this point. So the ways you would get this query, and the reason why this is here, and you can drill down and look at the difficulty report, is to see where they're weak, where they're doing query deserves diversity, and that means, oh, I could punt this off. Here's a query deserves diversity from Forbes, I could punt this off. You could buy an article on Forbes, do a parasite SEO, and maybe punt them off even faster, quite possibly, because they haven't optimized for this at all. No one has thought to optimize for this. So you have some market intel that will beat a lot of other people, give you a huge head start from some other people. Another thing you could do to beat these guys is, notice it's all pages. There's no sites dedicated to this. You could go, as I was saying, you can go to betterpowder.com, betterprotein.com. That would be the top of your topical cluster, and the rest of your pages would be in the umbrella under this, and it would be, protein powder this, 10 top 10 best protein powders that, whatever it would be, I'll show you in a second, but this would be a site you would dedicate to this keyword. You try to rank the index page for better protein powder. You would not go EMD. I'll give you that piece of scientific proven advice. You would not go EMD, you would go PMD, you would go partial match domain. Betterpowder.com would be good. /protein maybe you could do, something like that. Victor asks, does having a .net or other domains prefixes other than .com affect SEO? Yes, it can. It can. Again, if you're an SEO, if you're a current SEO University student, ask in the group, and I can show you the experiment for it, or you can just search in the Discord and you'll find it. But it can. I would definitely go for .com if you have any opportunities. Let me just put it that way. Or I wouldn't go for the domain names that are spammy and everyone else bought because they didn't want to buy a .com. But you'd be surprised, Victor. So again, email me personally. I can help you out with that. And or if you're a current SEOU student, just do a search in the Discord, and we've already done the experiments on that to prove which one is best. They're a few years old, but I don't imagine that would have changed. Okay, now the other fork on the road. What if you're like, okay, I'm a weak site, I'm a new site. Either I'm a site, he says, great, thanks, Josh. No problem, Victor. Again, thank you guys thanks for listening, thanks for watching, thanks for interacting. It helps me teach better. If I was teaching this in the meat space, in the space of meat, if I was teaching this locally in a classroom, I'd see your face and was confused, and I could tailor my presentation from that. Interacting with me here and in the chat on YouTube helps me have a better course and understand if you're absorbing the information well. Okay, so there was a second fork in the road. And the second fork in the road was, okay, one was having a powerful site already that you could just take this on so you could sort by final ROI and just go from top to bottom. You should be building 5 pages a day, 25 pages a week, 100 pages a month. And when you get to 200 or 300 pages, then you start having a big enough site to compete on a query that makes this kind of money. You are trustworthy because you've been finding the easiest keywords to rank for, and you've been building pages in the article builder with all the big 4 scores in the green, and therefore you have the trust that you need. You have the experience and expertise shown in the article, the helpfulness shown in the article, and the review quality shown in the article. Whether it's a review page or not doesn't matter. That AI applies to every single web page that Google ranks, and then you will be ranking on page 1. We know very well that we index and rank at a 60 to 70% rate, and we rank at spot 1 at a page 1 at a 20 to 10% rate, and spot number 1 at a 10% rate. So if you've built up 300 pages and you've followed our process, you will have more or less 30 spot 1 rankings if you've built from the easiest up. And by then you'll have the trust. But the process is the same. Whether you have a powerful site, you build 5 pages a day, 25 pages a week, 100 pages a month. It takes you it'll take you an hour to build 5 pages a day, if that, with our new HQA 2.1 writer, which is getting very good at nailing all the scores and making them all green. Now it'll make 2 or 3 of the scores green, and you just need to work on the final one. And the final one, as I'm going to show you in about 20 minutes, if the final big 4 score is like 1 or 2% off, well then leave it. It doesn't matter. It's close enough. You can just go. So I'm telling you, building 5 pages a day should not take you longer than 1 hour at all. You do these kinds of reports. You're like, okay, I want more information on this. I'll get more ideas and click get more ideas. This will run another keyword discovery report. Or you're like, okay, I need to build 5 pages a day. I have a powerful site, so I will sort by final ROI, and I'll build this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And I'll say find the boosting keywords, and that will start a bunch of reports going. That's what I did for these ones here. They already have a report that I've run for them here, as you can see. But what if you're on the other fork of the road? What if you're like, Josh, okay, I see what to do if I have a powerful site, and within 3 or 4 months, I will have that powerful site, so I can follow those instructions then, but I'm just starting out now. And or, Josh, I've had a site going for a few years already, but it does not index within 24 hours. In fact, when I build a new page, Google ignores me. They don't index it at all. Or if they do, it takes a week, and I'm like page 7, and I have nothing ranking on page 1. I definitely don't have anything ranking number 1. Do I have a powerful enough site? The answer is no. That means your site is just as new. Both a new site and a sick site have yet to accrue the right signals. When you look at the API documentation that Google leaked, that someone in Google leaked by accident, the big Google leak of the API documentation. If you don't know what that is, watch my Tuesday show. I've been going through it, and or join SEO University. We've been going through it at a much finer detail and scientifically testing the ranking factors to prove what is and is not a ranking factor and just not speculate. If you read that document, however, you will know that 99% of Google's ranking factors are to de-rank you. They're looking for reasons to get rid of you. They have an embarrassment of riches. They have a surplus of pages. They try to rank, they have to process over like 100 trillion pages a year. And so they've made algorithms, most of them, to get rid of you. And so there's far more hunters out there hunting to kill your page, so to speak, than there are benefactors looking to boost your page. And you have to fit a very, very tight statistical and scientifically proven profile in order to rank. It's not easy to do. I will not lie to you. It's not easy to do. It is easy to do if you use this tool and you join SEO University and you're within that profile of a very tight statistical data correlative analysis and a very tight confine of what science has proven is boosting or science has proven will demote you tremendously. So if you've built up a strong site, you can follow this. You can do a pretty good job just with SEO Copilot. But what if you have a new site that is yet to build up those signals? Or you have a sick site that is, again, either way, it's the same problem. Either you have a new site that hasn't built up the right signals yet, which is a very tight confine collection of signals, or you have a site that's been around for years. It could have been an age domain too, which, by the way, if you read the API documentation, it's not going to work. Google knows about that. It only works if you have some other accidental factors that were part of the age domain. Just because it's an old domain doesn't mean it'll rank better. It needs to have certain other factors. Again, join SEO University. I'll tell you what that is. That gets too far afield from this particular course. But either way, you haven't built up the signals that you can index within 24 hours and rank on page 2 or 3. Okay, if that is the case, then you need to change what I just told you by one little step. You need to sort by easiness, keyword difficulty. And you need to start from the top and start building up trust with Google and work your way down. And what you need to do is you need to build 5 pages a day. And so look at all the easy and average keywords here. Look at all, these are 80 different keywords here, I believe, on this page, whatever it is. How many, does it tell me how many are highlighted here? Sadly, it doesn't. I can't remember how many we list per page, but there's a good 30 or 40 here of the first pages you would build. Then you'd go to the second page and you'd build more that hopefully are not that difficult. Now, tough starts at 15%, average is from -15 to 15%. Even a low tough score like 15% isn't that bad. This is a disagreement I had with my co-founder, Greg, making this. He said, we just need to have an easy label here. I'm like, the label is not important. The number is important. You need to know how, in percentage, how difficult it is or how easy it is. So don't get thrown off because it says tough niche. It could be 15%. It could be 15.71, 15.82. These are still perfectly fine keywords I would go to rank for. And if you're like, Josh, I'm running out of keywords, what do I do? Now I'm gotten to not recommended or very tough. What should I do? The answer is you need to keep going and keep clicking keyword difficulty. And if you've run out of keywords in a number of ideas here, you need to just throw more in the top level. You definitely need to stay on the protein angle. If your site sells protein, then you need to have the word protein in pretty much every EMQ or every page you're trying to rank. So throw the name protein in there, throw the word protein in there, just like this, protein. It's actually protein powder that you sell, but protein probably would be close enough. And just like I did for crypto, I threw in a general idea of crypto and look, it found that many ideas. Look how easy it is to rank for, generally 28% for the top 80 queries, because it'll do the Josh 80 of difficulty when it starts. So the top 80 queries, anywhere from 20 to 80 queries, 40 on average. The top 40 pages are only 28% hard, and they can make you a fuck ton of money if you're ranking for them. But that shouldn't be a surprise. Crypto is one of the new highfalutin niches that people are crazy about that they sell online that makes a lot of money. So here's the 17,000 protein ideas that came back that my AI found for you. It's not humanly possible for you to find this many niches. And look, it's only 45% tougher. It doesn't make as much money as crypto. So again, if it's an SEO play and you're not an expert in either, you're not an expert in protein, you're not an expert in crypto, you just want to make money online, well then go for crypto, my friend. It makes way more money and it's easier to rank for, which makes sense. It's a much newer thing than protein powder. The game, the shtick, The marathon, the competition of making money off protein powder, started 25 years ago. And you've got people who've been building up signals for 25 years you're competing against. Crypto only started, what, 10 years ago? And so they had less time to accrue less signals. But it's totally up to you, whatever. I have one of my beloved clients, Gary, for jagbits.com. If you have a Jaguar you're restoring, make sure you buy off his site. He has big discounts. He sells Jaguar parts, and some of them make very little money. Some of them have very little money and are pretty tough to rank for, but that's the way it is. That's because I took that client on. That's the some of the query space I need to compete in. So I need to be very good at finding him new keywords, right? But that's another matter. So if you're here on your keywords and you're going down, and if you have a new site or a sick site that doesn't have the trust built up yet, you need to build the trust up. And you need to sort by keyword difficulty instead. And if you see a gem keyword along the way, by all means, rank the hell out of it, because this could fund the project alone. If you get on page 1 for this and even spot number 1 for this, this could fund the project alone. But you build 5 of these a day, 25 a week. Same thing for having a powerful site. You need to have the content velocity, which is a ranking factor, by the way. The API document proves it. You need to have the content velocity. You need to maintain the content velocity. You need to have the trust. Every page needs to be a slam dunk. You cannot afford to have a page that is low quality that Google doesn't like, because the more you do that, the more they will demote the entire site. The entire site. Again, the API documentation proves that too. And so if you need more difficulty, run more reports at the top level and/or run more keyword difficulties here, and you will find more. And you'll be surprised. You'll find, look, there's a ton of niches here. Look at all the niches here that are easy to average. Easy to average. And although one of them is making a lot of money, the rest of them make a little bit of money here or there, $2, $5, $18, $14. That is an apples to apples comparison. That's better than the ones that say 0. This has 1,000 searches. This is not bad. Generally speaking, this has 1,600. This has 1,900. These are not bad keywords. You can go to your client and say, look I've got you all this traffic. If you get them all of this, it'd be really good to tally this all up. That's what we'll do. Hold on. Let me make a note. Average and tally up the totals in keyword diff table. That'd be a really good thing to do. We'll do that for you automatically in the future. But for right now, you could take this, you can copy and paste this, you can say, okay, Mr. Client, this is what I'm building for you. Wait, why didn't that work? Do this. Take this, say, okay, Mr. Client, this is what I'm building for you. Go into Excel. Boom. Put this in here. Boom. So this is what I'm doing for you. Boom. Just do this. Boom. That's too bad. The average for that is $8. The max is 12,000. The average is 353. The sum is 15,000. Right? There's another $3,000 at stake from all those other keywords when you add them all up. So it's not a bad thing to try and rank for all those. And because they're easier, it's more of a slam dunk. Google does not have good options for these. All the competition here is weak. They are very weak. Upgraded protein choices. This is a great one. This is 6% easier than the rest of the internet. And no one has tried to rank for this. No one imagined a human is searching this. There are good opportunities here for you to try to rank that are more on this topic. Nobody is, look at how low the page focus is. No one's dedicated to this. It's under 40% for all of them. All of these are weak. All of these suck. Google is scrounging around at the bottom of the barrel to try and answer whatever the query interpretation is for this. You could nail this out of the park. And Google, once you give Google what they want, you give them a good answer to a query to make their users happy, and you do that enough, they will come back to you again and again and again. Have you ever noticed how some sites seem to never be able to break into the top one, and some sites, no matter what they do, they can keep the top one? It's because of what I call Google inertia, and that is because their algorithms are biased. They're biased towards the sites that have trust for them. When they try a new query, that they don't have good options for, when you answer that well, if you do that enough on enough pages, around 200 to 300, that's the critical mass when they, depending relative to the competition, that's when when this competition is this easy, that's definitely 100 will be enough for this competition. That's definitely the point where they go, okay, they start ranking 60 to 70 pages. They start putting they put 10 to 5 pages on page number 1 at the absolute worst statistically. That's what we get. We know that for a fact. And you've got number 1 rankings for 2 or 3. And if they try you out and keep you at number 1, that means you terminated the search. You answered the query better than everybody else. And that's exactly what you need to do and exactly what our AI does for you. Okay. So, oops, you lost the screen. Sorry. Perfect. Thank you. Sorry about that. Again, I got talking. Okay. So that's what you need to do. That's why you would start here at the keyword discovery. You need to find the ranking opportunities. Is that making sense to everybody? Please give me a yes in the chat if that's making sense. Ask any questions about that if you have any questions. Let me check here. Does anyone have any questions on here? No, great. We do have some folks over here. Ask any SEO questions here. Okay. All right. Now, from that process, as I said, you would start in here, you'd go through here, and you'd be like, okay, I want to rank for this. I want to rank for this, and this. This is what I want to rank for. I want to find the boosting keywords. That's what I'm doing today. Okay, fine. Pro tip, to strip out the geolocated traffic, I would use the little small island nation of Tuvalu. They have the .tv prefix. I would, to strip out all the geolocation, it's unlikely, these people are probably not searching for this stuff very much, or the few hundred people who search for this are probably not doing this. I would say continue. What is going to happen now, as you see here, boom, now it's running reports on all these pages. You can go here to reports, and you can see the reports running if you want, and they're running. After that's done running, let's see, protein. After that's done running, I can search right here, better. Did I do a better? Yeah, better tasting protein powder. Here we go, boom. So, I mean, that's running the reports. It's very easy. So that's it. Finding the boosting keywords. That's good. Finding the boosting keywords here is very simple, right? Very simple. You go here to Keyword Spy. You put in the keyword you want to search and get the boosting keywords for. We rebuild all the AI models for you. Or you do it here from Keyword Discovery. When you're looking at this, you click this one. You click the ones you want to build, and you say, find the boosting keywords. Do you need to worry about that even more? No, not really. However, I'm going to very quickly go through it and show you what it has. You can also generate articles from here when it's done. It'll give you a synopsis of the spam scores, the semantic scores, your heat score, your average predictability length, whether they're in the green or not, or whether they're in the red. So let's look at the report here. That's been done. Let's go to better tasting protein powder. Look at the report. We build a number of models for you, as I said. So here's the vector embedding rank brain model. Score number 10 is the one at the very top. These are the entities that specifically rank brain would use. They may not be used by BERT. They may not be used by query interpretation. They may not be used by TW BERT. They may not be used by the helpful AI. They may not be used. All the entities are different per AI. That's why we have to break it down separately and build several different models for you, and then score them all up under the results at the last in the last screen here under the results. BERT, the bidirectional encoding representative transformer, is another model Google uses. It's different than rank brain. It's a transformer. This is probably vector embedding. TW BERT again is a term weighting transformer that's different than the normal BERT. And then we also have query interpretation here. This is the query intent or the query interpretation they do. When people search better tasting protein powder, they don't do much of a interpretation. they are going to get you the best tasting protein powders, not better tasting, the best tasting. So that is a bit of a shift there. When people search this, they give them this, and reviews. And then you also have to include recommendations and comparisons. You need to have comparisons. So this is different than what you might have thought for this. You might be like, the better tasting protein powder is joshprotein.com. Make sure to go to Josh Protein, and you only talk about Josh Protein, and you didn't give the comparisons and the recommendations for other protein powders and the flavors, and you didn't give reviews, and you said it was better, better, better. You didn't say the word best. You are not going to rank very well. So this is the best BERT entities from the query interpretation. This is the best BERT entities just from the BERT algorithm proper. These are the ones that your competitors are using. Best tasting protein powder. These are the n-grams of your competitors that the BERT algorithm constructs. So we break it down from RankBrain, from the most used. Let me go down here to the very bottom here. From the most used at spot number 1, the entities that will have vector embeddings that vectorize, that have the trajectory, if you will, to ranking you at spot number 1, to the words that will not rank you at spot number 1, that most tend to spot number 100. So they have the least scoring in all the scoring. These words have the highest scoring, including stop words, because that's how AIs work these days. They make phrases, right? The best whey powder protein with flavor chocolate. That's the best flavor right here. RankBrain is telling you, and senior SEOs can go into this and get some very high level tips and be like, okay, chocolate's the highest one. Now let's see if my AI that writes articles, let me go here and actually build this. So here's the existing article that we built. It's not too bad. It's pretty good, actually. I'm going to rerun this. Yeah, okay, it's pretty good. This is the only score that's kind of out of whack. All the rest are good. Like I said, it'll do 3. We just need to build this one up. Did we do top recommendations, one at nutrition conclusion, top recommendations, blah, 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 blah. There's 2 ways you could beef this up, which I would show you in a second. But let's go back here to this report. Whoops. So there's BERT query interpretation. Here's another AI that no one knows that Google uses. We call it competitor HTML widgets. Technically, I call it the DOM vector, the vector embeddings. They also have an AI which analyzes, and we're pretty sure it's a vector embedding from our scientific testing, the HTML a document object model. Now, for those of you who don't know what the DOM is, the document object model, is the object-oriented programming model that gets extracted from HTML. HTML is this stuff that all web pages are made out of. So the document object model is made from this. We analyze the shard collection that comes back, and we determine what the page type is supposed to be. Now, SEOs have known for years, or guessed, they didn't know. SEOs have guessed for years that page type is important. They're right. Congratulations, you guessed correctly. If you flipped a coin and got heads, congratulations. But they don't know what exactly about the page type is important. And believe you me, the way SEOs break it down, well, there's a review page and an e-commerce page, and they're not the same. Wrong. There's a review page and informational page. Those are not the same. Wrong. That's not how Google looks at it. So we have amalgamated all the signals you need to use, and we've made you a template that our AI will use to build. And it renders something like this. And it shows you not only the HTML tags you need to have in what order, what's a nested child of a nested child in the document object model, tree. You also need to have these particular attributes, the properties of the object model. And this is very interesting as well, because people for years have been like, is WordPress a ranking factor? Is your e-commerce system a ranking factor? The answer is no. Not directly, but incidentally, yes. Because it just so happens that every single e-commerce and CMS on the planet puts all this little shit in your HTML, whether you want it in here or not. They put all the little attributes in here, all the classes, all the footers, all this different tags. They put it all in here, whether you want it or not. And that has been vectorized. And that is a ranking factor. Do you have to run WordPress to rank highly? No, but you have to have, if your competitors in the shard collection overwhelmingly towards spot number 1 vector towards more and more having WordPress artifacts embedded in their HTML, then you need to have the same. Not just any WordPress artifacts, you need to have the same WordPress artifacts that specifically vector towards spot number 1. That in the graph, the line graph that I could draw for this, here's a line graph I could draw of usage of HTML. You need the ones that vector like this to spot number 1, not the ones in the line graph that go down like this, or that just bubble along like this. You need very specific ones that only an AI can analyze for you. There are tens of thousands of lines of code you would need to manually go through. It is not humanly possible to do. It's not. And we are the only AI system that does this. I'm going to be patenting this. This is a proprietary scoring system. And yes, you need to do it. So you could see, our AI will show you, look at, you think you might be writing the best kind of page for this query, but our AI doesn't lie, and our AI will see and suss out exactly what you need. Make sure you need to have brief description. You need product names. You need top products. You need a review, like I said. You need product names. You need comparisons, like I said. You need star rating reviews. You need customer reviews. You need prices and a table. You need your company, all rights reserved. You need certain business artifacts up there. And so this is fascinating. And then finally, it adds all up the entities that are scored, and adds them all up and uses the most highest scored ones in the proper ratio in the proper spots. There's no way a human could do it. An AI has to write this. There's definitely no way an AI could do it fast enough for you to be competitive in the market. Sorry, there's no way a human, I don't know what I said. There's no way a human could do this fast enough for you to be competitive in the market. Okay, do you need to worry about any of this? No, our AI does this all automatically for you. That's why I've changed this here in the dashboard to be, you need to find the low-hanging fruit, you need to find the easiest keywords that you can build the most trust, that will make you the most money. You need to run boosting reports. Do you have to look at them? Nope, then you just go when they're done and you write your articles. So when this is done, when these reports are finally analyzed and done, and they are, I can click this here and I can write the articles. Oh, it looks like we're missing a topic. Interesting. Now, if you click this and you're missing one, that's when you can go, hey, wait a minute, something didn't work here. I bet you this is too general of a, yeah, it's like, this is just what it is. Collagen is the topic. Another thing you could do here under reports is you could add it in yourself. If it doesn't have it, you can add it in. So just the best collagen supplements is what we'll do. And we'll go continue. Here, boom, protein. Again, has nothing. The best protein supplements is what we want to write. These are two general queries. Whey-bolic protein. Doesn't have this one for this one either. We could say we want to do whey-bolic protein. The best whey-bolic protein reviews and options / comparisons. AI will do that. Weird. You must be having some bug that's going on. Okay. Now, of course, that's perfect. Just when I'm doing a demo is when we have a bug. But these systems work great. As you can see, they've been working for a while. I've been using them for a while. So anyway, when you get the article done, let's look here at luxury bathing suits. So this one's already been written. When I click generate article, I can rewrite it here. When I click generate article, you see it ports in the query interpretation that it got. Maybe the query interpretation AI is having trouble. And I can say continue, and it'll rewrite this thing. So all you have to do is click to get the articles generated. Generally, again, it's Murphy's Law. Only when I'm doing a demo is when this apparently fails. But Murphy's Law, it'll write the article and it'll get most of these scores in the green now. And you notice this one is only a little bit off. It was only 2 off, quite frankly. The spam score was already 30%. That's fine. Heat score is already 81%. That's fine. So it's rerunning the article now. So let's go here to one. So let's go here to one here. Yeah, here, let's click this. Let's retry this. Let's rerun. You can click to rerun it. That's weird. Let's rerun that one. See if this one here, you want to check in to make sure that it seemed to work. Yeah, something is broken with this AI. That's weird. Okay, so once you have the article written, let's go here to Steampunk Industrial Round Designer Sunglasses. Let's go to the article for it. Once it's built, you're going to see something like this. It's going to make an article. It's going to be a very high quality article. It has the good heat score, which I'll explain what it has in a second. It has good spam scores. It's way better than your competitors here. This spam score of this is a mere 10%, which is nothing. The competitors are 67%. You see it has expert tips, it has where to buy them, maintaining your sunglasses, pros and cons, final thoughts, next steps, etc., etc., etc. It goes on and on and on. Now, I've already been playing this one. I added in 2 pros and cons here. It generally won't be doing that. Boom. Okay, so let's say this is the scores it came out with. Yeah, 0% because I removed some of that. The only thing that matters for the article is the big 4 scores. The word count does not directly matter. It indirectly matters in that you won't have you might be over in the semantic score if the words are over, and you might be under in the semantic score if the words are under, but the word count does not directly matter. There's a myth in the SEO industry that large articles rank better. They don't. It's a complete myth. And think about it. Not everyone wants to read a 3,000 word essay on every topic every time. In fact, I don't know the last time I read a web page. I generally don't. So I can't imagine that other people want to do that as much as well. So there's 2 different really main ways here. The spam score, you can check it out. You can run it here and read what it says. And if it has a problem with it, it's going to tell you how to improve the article. So you can follow the instructions of how to improve the article. We're going to also have our CP bot that's down here, and you could say the article has a spam score of 40%. Please rewrite it so that it works better, and it'll say sure, and it'll help you work on the article. It could be like the article is too long, please cut it down. You could be like the article is too short, please make it longer. It can help you with those kinds of things. That's going to be released next week. But for now, the other things you can do to massage the scores is you can use the up score button, which will make all these scores go higher, which in this case is good, and in this case is good to a certain extent if you're in the optimized range, in the Goldilocks zone, but is bad for this score and bad for this score. It does that by doing a ye olde SEO. This upscore button uses a fancy chain of thought ideation like an SEO would, and looks to be stuffing keywords everywhere. But that's not the problem we have with this article. This article has the opposite problem in that it's too rich. It has too many semantic keywords. Over optimization and is as bad for rankings as under optimization. Although, generally speaking, in this case, being only 1 point higher is perfectly fine. You could publish this article, you'll be perfectly fine. Statistically, people who are at 1 or 2% over the Goldilocks zone score, they rank just fine. They can rank number 1. This is not a problem, right? The simple arrow that my co-founder made me go with is not is not very helpful, quite frankly, because you don't know what percentage off you are. All you know is that it's red and there's a down arrow. When at the end of the day, truly, you're only 1% over. This is perfectly fine. This is not an issue, right? Same with the predictability length. This is only 0.11 over the 4 point. It's actually only 0.8 over the true value of 4.13 for the predictability. Semantic score is the richness of the entities you put in due to the various AIs that Google checks for. These are the semantic keywords like synonyms and things like that, although synonyms are not generally a ranking factor. It's a much more complex system than that. Average predictability length is the number of words you can have in a row that an AI would have generated. Does Google automatically demote AI generated content? The answer is no, they don't. That's another myth in the SEO industry that the white hats are throwing out there. I think because they're scared that AI is going to take their jobs, and it will if they don't pay attention. My AI is going to take their jobs if they don't pay attention. And they don't know how to do AI content, and they have all their SOPs and their procedures at their agencies set up to have 50 people in the Philippines writing shit content day in, day out. And so they don't want to, they pretend like AI content is bad. But at the end of the day, our science has proven it's not. Our statistical analyses show it's not. You can rank number 1 all day long, and it correlates with 4.13, only 0.08 over this number. At 4.2, it correlates with spots 2 to 5 ranking, and there's probably no reason why this couldn't be number 1 either. It's just a statistical correlative analysis. There might be some causation there, but we don't think so. It's mostly just correlation. So, but it does strongly correlate. So I think there could be some causation there. I think Google has is it AI content and is it shit content? Then double demote it. I think they have that. But do they just demote AI content? No. Can it rank fine if it's high quality content? Yes. I have thousands and thousands of pages to prove it. And I publicly post that information. I showed you in Bitly SEO proof. And you can also go back in my channel and watch how they ranked number 1. And every few months, I do another episode of how they ranked number 1. And I prove what the statistical data correlative analysis numbers are supposed to be. And I change them if they need to adjust. The system in the future will automatically change. But right now, I manually change it. But we do change it on a fairly regular basis. If we need to, we haven't needed to for a while. So this one most correlates with rankings. So if you're 1 off, that's fine. But otherwise, try to get this in the green. This one is the second one. If you're 0.8 off, that's fine. And you're tired of doing this, you don't want to touch it, that's fine. This one is the third that correlates with rankings. But it's 0%, you're perfectly fine. And heat is the last one. What does heat stand for? Heat, it does correlate with rankings, but it's the most fuzzy correlation, that's for sure. If you had this in the green and all these in the red, you definitely wouldn't rank well in most cases. But it does correlate with rankings. The higher, the better. Heat stands for, do you have the helpful keywords? Do you have the expertise keywords? Do you have the experience keywords? Do you have the authority keywords? And do you have the trust keywords? Do you answer these questions that Google has used to train its AI specifically? This is the helpful and review AI. Does it provide insightful analysis that is interesting beyond the obvious? It's these kinds of things. Is it mass produced, or does it seem to be has attention and care? Is it primarily made to attract visits from search engines, or does it give a satisfying experience? This is an actual AI Google uses, and you do need to make sure you address that you have a high quality article. What does that mean? These 4 scores, that's what it means, statistically speaking. And we have, again, the stats to prove it. Again, well beyond statistical validity for a scientific study. You can take these scores to the bank as well. With, again, a plus or minus, less of plus or minus here, to this one, to this one, to this one. Okay, but what if you wanted to get this totally in the green? What if you're like, Josh, this is not an easy keyword, it's not recommended, I need everything to be squeaky clean in the green. What would you do? Well, in this particular case, these are too high. So you need to use the down score button, is all you need to do. So what I would do is I would go to the bottom of the article, I would highlight a paragraph and say down score. And the AI will replace it with less keywords. Down score this, it'll replace it. Down score this, it'll replace it. Why do you start at the bottom? because people have known for years that the top 100 keywords are the most important for ranking. So we'll do that. This probably won't change much yet. We only did 3 paragraphs. Oh, there we go. Boom. Now it's in the green. And this one is still a little high. Let's do another big paragraph. Let's do this one. Boom. Replace. Do this again. Still a little high. Do this one. Down score. Replace it. Boom. Run this one again. Okay. This is great. So I've replaced the main paragraphs. Now I can start at just the sentences if I need to. Fine. So I'll go to this sentence, downscore it, replace. I'll go to this sentence, downscore it, replace. This sentence, downscore it, replace, check. Not quite yet. Oh, so this is a new thing that comes up if you've been trying this for a while and you're having trouble. We do have tutorials here that you can watch of how to use these systems, of how to use the up score buttons and the down score buttons. So that's the new tutorial for you there. If you want to watch it, by all means watch it. Downscore this, replace, downscore this, replace, rerun this. I have to tell my my programmer not to have it come out every single time. It's like, are you sure you don't want to watch the tutorial? It seems to be having some trouble. Downscore this, replace. Replace. Okay, rerun this. This one's being picky. There's probably some specific words in here. This is another good example. Another thing you can do here is you can go to entities. You can check the words and sort it by this. And you can say, okay, what am I using too much of that this is complaining about? I'm using steampunk 21 times, sunglasses 18 times. Okay, let's do an F. Now let's do a search and replace and surgically remove some of the words that are, let's get rid of this. Boom. There we go. Now that will probably not quite do the trick. Let's go here and you know what you also can do? It would work fine for this system. You could put a space here, then it's not the same word anymore. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Again, you can run it. So you can surgically remove them, and if I did it enough, it would remove it by tweaking. Again, this is just an academic exercise. I don't need to remove anything. 73 is a perfectly fine score. There's 2 other things you can do. I was done when the first article spit out. I didn't have to do anything to it, quite frankly. I didn't need to get that score down either, unless you need to be super squeaky clean. The next thing you can do to check to see whether or not, if you're having trouble with these scores, and some more pro tips, you can go here to competitors, you can go to Google Semantic Scoring, and you can check to see if there's any outliers. Like this one here is Pinterest. Here's Pinterest. This one is an outlier. In the future, I'm going to automatically disable this. This is likely not ranking here because of its on-page semantic keywords. It's ranking here because of query deserves diversity. So if you get rid of this 24%, this is going to bring the average up, quite frankly. And then quite frankly, this 73%, my AI is doing the right thing by not allowing you. It has kind of a weird way it works out, inertia, that if you're in or around the right word count, it's this, all these scores are going to work out perfectly for you anyway. It kind of is like a magic of the way it works out. This 73 is fine because this score would be a little higher because it would remove the competitor who was 24%. That'd be fine as well. Or another way you can make the score go lower if you really, really want to make the score go lower. But again, on this case, you don't need to. This is just a hypothetical example for me to show you some pro tips. 73 is, again, perfectly fine. It's only 1 over the range, and that correlates with rank, spot number 1 perfectly fine. You can go into here, you can go into results, and you could be like, okay, hold on, actually, you go here into entities first, you look in the entities, you see, are there any stop words that I say too much? And it says and a hell of a lot. It's saying it 35 times. And find. Now, and is a very important entity. You don't want to get rid of it out of the text. But what I can do is I can go in here and be like, okay, the word and is too highly scored in here. I'm going to downvote it. And then you've downvoted it. You've downvoted it for the whole system. And then when you rerun this, you see it changes. Boom. In fact, I would go put the steampunk stuff I got out back in, because that is probably words you want, quite frankly. So now this is perfectly green. It's pretty easy to do if you know the pro tips. If you started with an article that was too low, you would have upscored it from here and upscored it from here and gone all the way down until these numbers were really high. And then you would have done the process of removing. You would have gone down here and downscored it, and gone down here and downscored it, and gone bottom up until both these scores were in the range that are perfectly fine, you need them in. There's more SEO factors that we find here for you as well in the SEO tab. You can also do the URL and run the spam score on that, which is perfectly fine. You can run the title, steampunk industrial round designer style sunglasses, discover unique steampunk sunglasses for women, stylish metal frames await. That should be more or less fine. It might not like the length of it. It's a bit long. Spam score might complain. No, it's fine. It tells you what the boosting keywords are for the title tag, which is not necessarily the same as the body of the article. It also tells you what the boosting entities are for the meta description, which Google uses a different AI for that. A lot of people don't know that either. This is a different AI from the body, and this is a different AI from the body. They have different entities you want to put in here. I can automatically write it. This one is going to want you to have angles and perks. If you have angles and perks, phone number or emails to contact them, or where in the sales funnel you're at, I would recommend to fill them in. And you can also generate an H1 as well. And it'll run the spam score on that as well, which this should be probably perfectly fine too. It might complain a bit. Yeah, it's like 60%, but your average competitors are 76, it's fine. If you're less than the competitors, it's fine. Again, my co-founder made me have a simple yes or no, green or red system here, which I didn't want to do. It throws some people off that this is, oh, it's 60% is bad. No, the average here is 76%. It's probably fine. You need to be a bit of an SEO here and make a bit of a human determining judgment. You can also, if you have a question, CP will be down here next week. You can also ask CP, my H1 is 60%, but the average is 76. Is that a problem? And the chat bot will hopefully talk you off a ledge and say, no, that's probably fine. You could improve it, but you're probably good. A last bit here that's really important is the spread keywords, or the missing entities. There's ones that are highly scored here that you really want to make sure that you mention, like designer, women, shades, and men. These are highly scored entities you probably want to mention as well. So you can either ask CP to add them. Please take these words, copy and paste, and add these to the article somewhere in the first paragraph. And it'll be like, here, fine, I've rewritten it. Then you take it and you paste it in here. Or you could do this manually. You can go, okay, I need to say designer, women, shades, men. Designer eyewear for women or men. There we go, added them in. That's not going to change things too tremendously, but it did boost the score slightly, which is a good thing. And now I can rerun this and recheck the work. Recheck it. There we go. Go to article, go to save. Not import. Save it. Control A, Control C, put it in the paste bar for 2. Did I get them? There we go. I'm just missing shades. Unique shades. There we go. Discovering unique shades in steampunk eyewear. There we go. Boom. Done. Now it's in there. You can also see that here. You can sort by score. You could see the phrases that might be important as well. This is the actual EMQ. You can see how many times your competitors use it and get a sense whether you should be using it. Nobody says it in the body. Nobody has it in their headers. They only have a partial match, 56% partial match in H3s in some of the competitors. This is put here for a reason. You should consider it. It depends on your SEO style. If you want to know more about that, join SEO University and we can give you exact instructions there. But I don't want to be too, who am I in my piece of software to tell everybody in the world how to do SEO? If you want to do it your way, do it your way. You want to stuff it full of VMQs, go ahead and try. Do I think that's a good idea? No, that's why I tell you here. But, again, it's not for me in this piece of software to educate the world. That's what I do in SEO University. And you can see, okay, how many times these particular entities have been used, and where do you think they're important? Like, for example, let's go here into RankBrain. Sunglasses, steampunk, round, free was very important for RankBrain for the vector embedding. Let's click back here, and this is what a top SEO might do. And how many times do we use the word free? Ooh, I do not see the word free at all. Interesting. Free seemed to have been important to at least one of the AIs, RankBrain, and RankBrain is the most important one for rankings, that's for sure. Google has a two ranking system: RankBrain indexes and ranks content. SpamBrain, it's like the yin and yang. SpamBrain de-indexes and de-ranks content. I would want to make sure, even though in the results here, the word free didn't come up too highly, that's because the competitors don't use it at all. RankBrain liked it, but the TW BERT, it's not a term that's weighted towards things, but it does have a score of 8 in RankBrain. That's the kind of case where you might be like, you know what, for purchase, I might want to have a section on free. So like, you're like, you know what, I want to add another section, Josh, because RankBrain said it might be important, and even though the competitors are not doing it, it might give me a leg up. So I want to make a free section. Okay, the answer is fine. Copy and paste this. You can add whatever content here you want. Copy and paste this and say free. What free examples or styles of steampunk lenses are there? You might want to highlight this, and then you go in this thing, and here you say the free when it comes to free and steampunk industrial round shades, you need to know this. ... And then you highlight this and you say upscore it. And 9 times out of 10, if there's any information for this, it'll answer it for you. There you go. Take this, boom, close it, come here, boom. There you go. Now you say the word free, which was an important entity. Did we mess this up too much? Ooh, we went a little high, but again, like I said, that's not a bad problem. I could click, this might be a little high now too. I might go up a little, because we did add a pretty beefy section there. That's fine, it's fine. So it says, what free examples of styles when it comes to designer and steam designer, you'll be thrilled to describe the unique styles from vintage Victorian frames, a collection of whatever. You want to see this is fitting for your store, of course. Another thing about the new HQA article is that you can use a custom knowledge base. If you have specific products, then you want to add it here. For example, I have this specific example for a custom knowledge base. When I was trying to rank for CBD oil for cats, or doing an example for CBD oil for cats, I gave it this custom knowledge base.txt. I said, use this author bio. Here's the author bio. Here's the writing instructions for our new product. And I made up a fictitious product, Ultra Pet Oil for Cats. And although I was trying to rank for CBD oil for cats, you might be trying to rank for steampunk industrial glasses, and you have your own product you want to sell, right? You want the AI to write all about it. No problem. You could put it in the custom knowledge base here, and you can give it an objective. You give it the key points to cover. You can discuss. You can tell it the tone. And the AI will follow those instructions as long as they don't completely contradict the other instructions it has, to use this as the topic and use this as a page type, which, as I said, you can overwrite these if you want to without a problem. You could also have done that here. You could have been like, if the AI knows about it, you could copy and paste any text in here you want. Even if it's one paragraph is duplicated from the web, from other paragraphs, that doesn't matter. As long as more than 60% of the article is new, that's fine. That'd be fine. Or you can do the custom knowledge base and it'll write the whole thing for you. Or you could ask CP to write it. You could paste it in here and say, CP, can you please rewrite this and use the best sales tactics and techniques to sell my custom steampunk lenses with my free offer of trying them for free for 2 weeks or something like that. And it'll do it. I don't know what it thinks in RankBrain should be free, but Google always likes to give stuff to people for free. If you see that and you can give them something free and the AI knows about it, it'll do it. Otherwise, you're going to have to give it more instructions. It'll just make something up. What it makes up may not be great. But it writes it way faster than you could manually, that's for sure. And much more in depth, which a lot more content and tables, and think of ways of putting it in the page type that it's supposed to put it. And for this one, if we had given it a custom knowledge base with ratings and reviews, it definitely would have used it. And if it doesn't, you can just say, hey, you're supposed to be using these kinds of features. You can copy and paste this into CP and say, hey, I want you to use this. And I want you to use my particular products, rewrite the article and or massage this content in. And see people go, okay, in the article down here, it'll finish it for you with, but it's better than just ChatGPT. It has all the instructions of how to do SEO, and it has access to all of the spam scores and the article, high quality article factoids it used to write this and everything, the very complex chain of thought ideation. It'll use all of that information, synthesize all of it, and you just copy and paste it and put it in here. If it gives you HTML to copy and paste, no problem. You just go into HTML and paste it in the HTML where you need to paste it in. So all in all, it's a pretty robust system, and it's pretty interesting. It's a 3-stage system, as I said. You find the ranking opportunities, you get the boosting keywords, you build it yourself. It saves you vastly on costs and time. We've been going for an hour and 45 minutes or so. So what questions do you guys have? Are you guys pumped to use the system? Are you pumped to try to get ahead of your competition? This is the way to get ahead of your competition. I use this analogy and people are kind of confused sometimes when I use it, but I use this analogy. It's not the person who ranks first who wins at SEO. It's not the person who ranks number one who wins at SEO. It's the person who ranks number one fastest, easiest, cheapest, who can iterate and build that in a way and rank every page number one. And using ranking factors that are safe and will boost them and be maintained over time. That's the person who wins at SEO. It's a business process play at the end of the day. It's not a marketing play. It's a business process play at the end of the day. Your business process needs to be optimized as much as your page needs to be optimized. And by using keyword discovery to find the easiest keywords to rank for that make you the most money, by finding the boosting keywords, by rebuilding all the models that you could never do by hand, and to building the article way faster with an expert in a box that is factual and it does it, saving you 99% time and costs. It takes 30 articles per page down to 30 minutes. It is a no-brainer. It's a slam dunk that you will win with the system. All right, so I don't see any questions, so that's great. Thanks for joining me on a Friday, guys. Let me check here the live really quickly to see if there's questions. And there are. Rema asks, with the picture of Einstein, I like that. Rema asks, what does the RankBrain words use for? Do you create subtitles with these words in them? You can, you don't need to. They say, explain the same for Bert. Again, you don't really need to. The structure of the article is going to be dictated by what the AI finds in query interpretation. What the AI finds here in the reports is what the under query interpretation, and see, these have all finished now. Let's see if it worked this time. It didn't, but under competitor HTML widgets, it's going to use this. This is going to dictate some of the structure of how things are going to go. The other thing that's going to dictate structure of how things are going to go is the ones here that are being used in query interpretation. that have been found by query interpretation. The ones here that you would find under BERT, that's the topic you need to build on. It doesn't matter what your competitors have found. This really is just for this is only for expert SEOs, and for expert SEOs to be like, oh, bikini here is a word that maybe the competitors missed that they're not using. Where do the competitors use bikini? Bikini, they're using it way down here. They're not saying it very much, but it vectors towards spot number 1. This is a place, you see the competitors aren't using it here, but it does vector towards spot number 1 to use it. This is where you might get some good opportunities to throw a word in there. This doesn't deserve a whole section. It might deserve a section, but really, quite frankly, the AI does all this work for you. It chooses what the structure should be, because that is based again on the query interpretation. It's based on the HTML widgets, and it's based on the entities that overall, through all of the AIs, are scored in a highway. So let me know if that makes sense, Rema, if you have any final questions on that. Otherwise, guys, ask me a question. Ask me any SEO questions you have. I'd be happy to help you out. Make sure you've been watching your emails for some offers I'll be doing in the very near future. We're going to have some pretty crazy offers coming up for try to scare up some new business. So be watching for that for both SEO Copilot and SEO University. If you're not on the mailing list, go to SEOCopilotAI.com and sign up here for the free 2 weeks and make an account with an email, and you'll be put in the mailing list. Or just email me and I could put you in the mailing list. And we have some really good offers that are coming up very, very soon. I think people are going to be impressed. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. That's where I'll let you go for today. If you have any more questions, email me. I'm here to help you guys out. I'll be more than happy to answer any SEO questions that you might have. If you're having any SEO trouble, I'd be more than happy to help you over email. A 5-minute answer, I don't mind giving free. I've saved businesses with a 5-minute SEO question. It literally could save your business. Some people are like, Josh, should I try to rank for this? And I'm like, no, that'll destroy your business. And they come back to me a year later and be like, thanks, Josh, for that 5-minute answer. That literally saved my business. I can help you with SEO. I've been doing this for a very long time. I have no problem helping you guys out. So email me if you have any questions. Otherwise, for the little bit of summer we have left, I hope it's raining here where I am. Hopefully it's sunny where you guys are. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Enjoy the weekend. Make sure to sign up for another free course next week, or make sure to like and subscribe so you see when we go live. And like I said, when you use SEO Copilot, you are going to have successes. I want to hear about more wins. The SEO University has a wins channel of everyone sharing their wins there, of how they're winning, and our students get wins on a regular basis every month for sure. I want to hear the SEO Copilot wins as well, although I could see them in the back-end system. It never hurts to get an email from you guys. Let me know how's it going. And watch next week for the CP chatbot that will, your SEO consultant in a box that can answer SEO questions and help you improve the article and brainstorm on the article in numerous ways. I'll be doing a lot of tutorials on how to use that. And watch next week for all the crazy offers and deals we're going to have next week. I think it's going to